I fear nothing, neither lack, limitation, disappointment, nor distress of any kind. For is not the Father always with me? What caused the appearance of lack in my life? Simply my fear, or my belief that the Father could forsake me. I do not believe that now, and it no longer matters to me what is the appearance of today, or what has gone before. Today is new, and I am newly awakened in it, and I believe with dauntless faith that my good, in full measure, comes to me from God today. I now believe that it is indeed the Father's good pleasure to give me of his bounty. I know that he gives as I ask, without question or limit, and I am ready to receive. The gifts of God are mine today. The gifts of God are mine today. The gifts of God are mine today. The substance of the Spirit is my daily supply. I cannot be without my good. I can see that the constant stream of life flowing to me brings into my experience all that makes life happy and worthwhile. I rest in security, knowing that infinite good is within and is expressing through me. I receive my good. The substance of the Spirit is my daily supply. I cannot be without my good. I can see that the constant stream of life flowing to me brings into my experience all that makes life happy and worthwhile. I can see that the constant stream of life flowing to me brings into my experience all that makes life happy and worthwhile. Therefore, I rest in security, knowing that infinite good is within and is expressing through me. I receive my good. The gifts of God are mine today. The gifts of God are mine today. The substance of the Spirit is my daily supply. The gifts of God are mine today. The gifts of God are mine today. Now I invite you to bring your consciousness back to the room. Open your eyes, wiggle your toes, and we'll start service in just a few minutes. Namaste.
There's something in the air, the dream of life in love, with minds that rest in prayer, sparking joy we're in awe. No matter where your path has been or time has somehow flies, like souls will come home again, true friendship ever thrives. Is this where the magic happens? Can you feel the hearts revealed right now in you and me? The secret is wherever we are. There's something in a smile that can turn a day around. Moments so worthwhile when we find common ground. No matter what the day might bring, right here we can align, knowing that we will be seen as perfect, whole, divine. 'Cause this is where the magic happens. Let's feel all the hearts close to me and me to you. The secret is wherever we are. So meet me where the magic happens, feeling all the hearts ignited now in you and me. The secret is wherever The secret is whenever. The secret is together we are.
Good morning. Oh, I just love that song, and I love our videos from our gatherings. It's so fun to see everybody's faces and see that we're enjoying ourselves together. I look forward to that expanding into more opportunities. We are so delighted to have you here with us today at Center for Spiritual Living, St. George, here in beautiful Southern Utah. We are an open, loving, inclusive community that supports thinking creatively and living a deeply spiritual life. We are in the process, we, meaning Reverend Joe and the leadership, are in the process of revisiting our vision, mission statements. But for now, our vision reflects our home office vision, which is a world that works for everyone. That's us. So I'd like to just briefly tell you who's on board today. I'm Marina Anderson. In case I hadn't introduced myself already, I'm the tech behind the scenes and the face in front of the camera. Bill Smith just did our meditation, and that was beautiful, Bill. I really appreciated it. Shay Barlow is doing our music today. Chris McCardle, one of our practitioners, is doing the invocation. The reading is being done by Gwen Hadley, and all of our pracs are plugged in today to share in giving the message that is before us. Now I'd like to bring Shay up. Sorry, I have a lot of faces here today. There she is.
It's me.
All right. Welcome, Shay.
Thanks, Marina. So we're going to go ahead and just do our invocation song to just kind of remind us where we are right now in this moment, and to do that centering and connecting that inspires and uplifts. In the middle of this song, Chris McCardle will pop in and he will do our invocation. And then when we come back, the lyrics will be on screen and you can affirm these words, and I just invite you to listen. I have a pure and strong desire to always let wholeness come through, to live in close contact with the indwelling God, to be a revealer of truth. I have a faithful aim and passion to always let heaven come through, to live in close contact with the innermost soul, to be a revealer of truth. That's who I am, what I believe, an expression that's uniquely lived as me. When I align to the absolute, each moment is a moment of truth.
Service, settle ourselves in. Let's let go of the technology, let's go of everything that is surrounding us that might be interruptions, and just focus in on that one energy, that one power, that one essence of life itself that keeps the the world spinning in its axis, that keeps the sun shining, that is the intelligence of the seed that becomes the tree that bears the fruit. These are the gifts of life that I recognize I am one with that very essence. I am the magic that was born from that creative force. So as I know this for myself, I know that for each and every one that is within ear's length of this Sunday talk, shared to you by the practitioners, as we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, to share with you that which we have understood and continue to grow with. And then I feel gratitude for everything that's come to be to make this service happen, for each of these beautiful practitioners, for musicians, technicians, all of it. We are CSL St. George, and I am absolutely grateful for it. So I let this service open. I let it just become whatever it's going to be, because I know that intelligence is the guiding force behind it. And I let it go, I release it, and begin service by saying, and so it is.
So it is. Amen to that. So these lyrics are going to be on screen, and I just invite you to affirm these words with me. I have a pure and strong desire to always let wholeness come through, to live in close contact with the indwelling God, to be a revealer of truth. I have a faithful aim and passion to always let heaven come through, to live in close contact with the innermost soul, to be a revealer of truth. That's who I am, what I believe, an expression that's uniquely lived as me. When I align to the absolute, each moment is a moment of truth. I have a bright and clear intention to always let freedom come through, to live in close contact with the internal one, to be a revealer of truth. I have a blessed plan and purpose to always let love come through, to live in close contact with the inner divine, to be a revealer of truth. That's who I am, what I believe, an expression that's uniquely lived as me. When I align to the absolute, each moment is a moment of truth. I have a pure and strong desire And now we're going to invite Gwen Hadley into service, and she is going to share a sacred reading. Good morning, Gwen.
Good morning. Is that brand new? I've not heard that.
That's a new one. Yeah.
Wow, I love it. I love it.
Thanks, Gwen.
Thank you. So last week, my talk I took from Listening to Your Inner Voice, Discover the Truth Within You and Let It Guide Your Way by Douglas Bloch. And I found another piece in that particular book that I really like and I thought spoke to the service today. So it's from the same book. It's entitled The True Treasure. Consider the following story of misplaced priorities. While hiking in the wilderness, I met a man whose t-shirt carried the following message: "He who dies with the most toys wins." As I pondered those words, I was sure that the author meant the opposite of what he said. No one on this deathbed ever stated, "Oh, I wish I'd spent more time in the office at work." We were put on this earth not to accumulate toys, but to reap the gifts of the Spirit. These gifts come to us when we dedicate our lives to something greater than ourselves, a path of service in the world, the raising of a loving family, the creation of beauty through art, or any passion that inspires one. Having lived in this manner, you can look back over your life with a real sense of fulfillment. By following the path of peace, love, and joy, you will discover your true treasure, one that transcends death itself. He who dies having followed his heart wins. And so it is.
Thank you so much, Gwen. So, as we have been perusing this year, our theme of living everyday wonder, October, we've been discussing finances. And today's talk is share it, ferret, do have a piece of my pie. So, like all of life, money is a flow. And as we participate in a healthy way, we realize just how abundant and generous life truly is. Eric Pavernaghi, he is a Belgian painter and writer. He wrote this beautiful sentiment about life. Let's not wait until the light fades into irreparable loss, but let's stay in the loop and peruse the momentous flow of daily little wonders, since life kindly tenders us gorgeous bouquets of sparkling colors, telling signs, and rousing episodes. Ernest Holmes agrees, writing in The Science of Mind, since the only life you can have is the life of spirit within you, you need but permit its radiance to flow through your thought into self-expression. You're surrounded by a dynamic force, a great surge of living power. You're immersed in and saturated with the vital essence of life. Its presence permeates everything, binding all together into one complete whole. One complete whole. I have a circular image when I read that. And this song, Happiness is Something, just reminds us how we put that in action, right? Because all our best lessons are learned in kindergarten. So I know you know this, and we're going to sing it together. Happiness is something. Happiness is something if you give it away. You give it away. You give it away. Happiness is something if you give it away, then it comes right back to you. It's just like a magic penny. Hold on tight and you won't get any. Lend it, spend it, give it away, then it comes right back to you. A hug is something if you give it away. You give it away, you give it away. A hug is something if you give it away, then it comes right back to you. Oh, it's just like a magic penny. Hold on tight and you won't get any. Lend it, spend it, give it away, then it comes right back to you. Love is something if you give it away. You give it away, you give it away. Love is something if you give it away, then it comes right back to you. Oh, it's just like a magic penny. Hold on tight and you won't get any. Lend it, spend it, give it away, then it comes right back to you. Oh, it comes right back to you. Okay, Marina.
That
Back
was fun. Sorry, I popped you out of there for a second.
That's okay.
Yes, I believe that we learned all of our important things in kindergarten as well. So
That's right.
I had the delightful view of all the little boxes below with all of our participants singing with you. So I imagine
Oh,
out there did that.
I
as
love
well.
it.
So, yeah, very
Thanks,
fun.
Marina.
Yeah. All right. Now we are having a super special talk today. I'm going to start popping up our practitioners one by one who are going to join forces and plug into spirit and provide a beautiful message for us today. Welcome, Chris, Bill, Star, Anita, and Mary.
Hello.
Hello, thank you.
We are here. Oh wow. we're right here. Marina's gone now, so that leaves it up to us. So hi everybody, welcome you guys. Are you excited about doing this talk today?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So just for our viewers, we have no idea basically. Even those of us who put the slides together didn't really pay a lot of attention to what the content of the slides were. We sort of did in a way, but we allowed them to come. I will be honest, some of them we weren't. I did this with Anita, and some of them we weren't actually very comfortable with. And the fact that we were uncomfortable with it, we decided to go ahead and leave them to see how the other practitioners give us input. So if Marina, if you could bring up the first slide, I'm going to have Bill read that slide, and then I want each of us to just sort of sit with the words and see if anything comes up, and I'm going to invite you all to share what comes up for each of you. So take it away, Bill.
All right, here we go. The source of all of our good is infinite. The universe is never depleted. It never runs dry. It doesn't withhold, restrict, or punish. It just expresses its nature of infinite abundance constantly. We can limit our our experience of it, but it is never limited. If we are blocking the flow with beliefs and feelings of being undeserving, not good enough, we'll close off the flow. We must become good at receiving good. Let me say it again. We must become good at receiving good. And we must actively and consciously expand our idea of normal if we are going to embody more of the infinite good. And we must remember that our receiving doesn't take from anyone else. It's an infinite flow, not a finite pie.
Mm-hmm.
I like that last line is the closer. It's an infinite flow, and there's nothing finite about it. Mary?
Star, what's coming up for you?
Okay, good.
Hey, Marina, is it possible to put the slide back up? I think it's easier if we can kind of revisit it. Oh, with just me? Not just me. There we go, with everybody. Star?
I just love this. Sometimes I get a reflection from the divine. And sometimes I just, in the past, have just kind of, oh, cool, that's cool, you know. But lately, I've decided that what I need to do we must become good at receiving good is to relax into the insight. If you understand what I'm saying, if I relax into the insight, that which is speaking through me, that which is coming through that infinite space, it actually has more to offer than just the, whoo, that was cool. You know, I wonder if I can get more of those. It's like becoming so comfortable with the infinite.
Are you saying to receive good is becoming more comfortable in layman's terms? I'm trying to get it into layman's terms so our viewers can understand.
Yes. If I was to become comfortable with the divine, that's what when it says we must become good at receiving, it's not about I'm good and I'm bad. I can't do this. It's about just having an insight or an impulse and just falling back into it.
So you're talking about receiving information, basically. How about like
anything good? If it's for my good.
How about a car or?
Yeah, anything. And I'm just lightly going over it, and I'm on to the next thought.
I haven't given the infinite time to get that settling of good that it's talking about here. This infinite goodness.
Cool. One of the things that Anita and I, or one of the statements in this that we debated on getting rid of is and we must actively and consciously expand our idea of normal if we're going to embody more of the infinite good. What is that? That's kind of a deep sentence. That's kind of an unusual feeling behind it. Does anyone have anything on that? Anita?
I've had more thoughts about it since I kind of decided that didn't make sense to me. It was the word normal that was bothering me. And I think to expand my idea of normal is to recognize that there is only God and there is only good. And so normal is another way of me recognizing that life is for me and not against me. And the same for every person that's ever been born. Life is for us. And so to expand my concept of how good shows up in life. And sometimes it doesn't look like good on the surface level, or it may not look like good today, but tomorrow it's revealing more of how it is actually the normal good that is life. So those were my thoughts about that.
Mary?
I'd like to examine the line of we're blocking the flow with beliefs and feelings of being undeserving and not good enough. And we close off that flow. It takes me back to my childhood. I was raised in a good Catholic family, and funds were limited. And there was this, it was never said, but there was this consciousness in my family that poor or limited was good, and rich or that the people had things as if they did something wrong, that there was something very righteous about being poor. And, you know, that was extremely hard for me to get past as I moved into my practitioner training, that consciousness of not having is good. And it's a very limiting thought and consciousness, but it certainly sat very present in my childhood. That almost like the less you had, the holier you were. It was very hard to get to jump past that and move forward. I don't know if others have had that kind of consciousness in their childhood, but I did in my, religious family that I grew up in.
Well, also another thing is, like, a lot of people who are in a wealthy family that have a lot of things. I don't know the consciousnesses around that, but the idea of that receiving takes from someone, I think in my own work as a practitioner over the years, that's still receiving for me. Somehow, when somebody offers an act of kindness or a financial thing or a gift or whatever it is, somehow it triggers something in me. But I'm learning that it's okay to receive, and I think many of our viewers experience that same kind of sensation or feeling around receiving.
There's a quote that we received. It's from Lao Tzu. It probably answers a lot of viewers' questions about what Mary was talking about. When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. And that is, the first thing is to relinquish what we think we know, that what we think is normal.
Exactly.
Just let it go.
Yeah, that reminds me of the Joseph Campbell quote. We must be willing to give up the life we've planned as to have the life that's waiting for us. One of my favorite quotes. Is everyone comfortable with this slide? Shall we move on to the next one, or is there something longing to be spoken?
I have one more thing to say about the remembering that our receiving doesn't take from anyone else. I remember reading something that said that there is plenty of abundance, substance, wealth in the world for everyone. And if we were to redistribute the wealth that exists in the world, everyone would have all that they need. And that, that's not saying that we're going to, that almost sounds like a socialist statement, and I don't intend it that way.
But it's true.
Well, the redistribution is a matter of opening the flow, I think, so that nobody is receiving less and everybody is continuing to give. And so the wealth is distributed so that everyone ends up wealthy.
Yeah, if 8 billion people gave away, if the 8 billion people had just what they needed to be joyous, full of love and happiness, and gave away the rest.
There you go. Yeah,
I like what Joe Dispenza's science is doing with this receiving and giving. So once you give from that place of what they're talking about, that source, that infinite, you could manifest like $1 million and give it away because you know where it came from, and you can do it again and again and again. But you just have to practice giving it away.
So
and it has become normal.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Marina, the next slide. And Mary, I'll have you read that one.
The second phase of experiencing healthy flow is assimilation. When we breathe, we keep some of the air. When we eat, we retain some of the food. Some people experience money diarrhea. Everything that comes in flows right on out. We deserve and need to retain some. If we don't value ourselves and or don't value money, we will get rid of it as quickly as it comes in. If it comes through a channel we don't like or value, our resistance to the channel will show up as money rushing out our door. In the model of flow, think of a rushing stream pouring into a lake. The lake provides life energy for its surroundings, trees on the shore, fish below the surface, and birds and animals above. It spreads its moisture out to benefit the region. There is much financial advice to retain 10% of our income for savings and investments. This allows money to grow and to work for us instead of us working for it.
There's a lot in this too. Keeping for ourselves. I mean, my gosh, is that selfish? Or, I know for me personally, that the hole in my pocket. I've been told that by my family and friends in my whole life, and I even have grown to believe that for some reason money just flows in and flows out and flows in and flows out and flows in and flows out. And I often find myself in a position to where I don't have a lot to save for my own whatever. Mary?
Well, I think that one of the things that very early on, probably because of my childhood, is that I knew that I needed to take care of myself first, as in all things. If you take care and feed yourself, then you are more capable and more willing and more able to take care of others. And until we fix and take care of ourselves, we really can't be of that great of value to those around us. So maintaining some of our wealth for gain, for long term, for retirement, is a very positive thing in my mind. And that allows me, and has allowed me now in 8 years of retirement, to continue to be able to give of others, because I did take care of myself first, which isn't bad. And lots of times we're taught that it is, but to me, it is the basis of how I ultimately learned to live my life. Manage myself, then I can be of greater value to others.
Yeah, and if we look at the lake, if the lake runs out of water, think of what happens. I mean, if we run out of water, it's the same kind of like a metaphor of what we have less to give,
Well, I think you look at Lake Mead and we run out of water, we run out of electricity, therefore we run out of life as we know it. It's huge. So
I think for me, it's I learned probably through Neville Goddard, and it was several years ago. But this 10% that, or whatever, this first 10% that comes out of my earnings, I can say it's for me, but then I can also say it's for the God in me that I actually meditate with every day. And I put that 10% or portion of what I make in a little safety kit that I have, that I can do. I don't have investments and things like that I haven't been able to do that, but I've just started small. And it was interesting because in August we didn't have any work. And because of that, I had $2,000 saved up and I could get through the month because of that little piece that I had put aside for what I thought was God. I just didn't get anything out of there for other things, until I had to that month. And I thought that was interesting, that it's not my money anyway. It's God's money. Anyway.
Anita, and then Bill.
I think the feeling comfortable with taking what we need and retaining some for ourselves, that assimilation, really is a reflection of our self-worth. Mm-hmm. And when we recognize that we are worthy, it's our birthright to be prosperous, to enjoy abundance, then we can become comfortable with that receiving and that assimilating abundance into our lives. I really think that the creative spirit of all life that I believe created us so that it could express itself in all these unique ways that we are, I think it intended its expression to be joyful, filled with ease, pleasure, love, and abundance. And so, it is our divine birthright to experience those qualities in our life, and to some extent that depends on us having some financial wealth in our lives so that we can be comfortable.
Well, it's interesting how sorry, Bill, you go.
I don't have anything really profound to say, but I actually take deference to the term money diarrhea. While I do recognize the importance of assimilating and keeping some of that abundance, for a rainy day. But the flip side of that is, I think it's as important, if not more important, to maintain the circulation and maintain the flow. So when, and just like we talk about the 10% that we tithe, to what spiritually feeds us, likewise 10% for our ongoing, future needs. So I think, the key to me is to continue to circulate that good and make sure that it continues to flow into you. Because if you restrict that, that's the best way for it to stop. So
that's exactly kind of what I was going to say. It's like, with my beliefs around money and the flow, it's that my life has constantly shown me that it's a circulation, that as I give it out, even with the diarrhea, even though it burns a hole in my pocket, there's always been enough. There's always just been, even if there actually wasn't food in my refrigerator for the moment, food somehow showed up. I mean, I'm still alive, and it's always been that circulation. And even though it sounds like you have to not just let it all go. It's been okay for me. I do like the concept of putting more aside for like a nest egg or a rainy day, or, for something like Star said, to honor myself, if I had an extra chunk of change going on a cruise or whatever. But yeah, there is a flow. I mean, if you hold on too tight, it's all about our beliefs. I feel it's like if we believe there's not enough, the universe is just going to keep showing us that there's not enough over and over and over again.
Mhm.
And if you're allowing it to flow, it's just going to keep flowing, and if you allow for yourself to have more in abundance and to put some away, it's going to create exactly what it is you believe it's going to do for you. As in Mary being able to now give money, in places that she sees fit. It's all about our beliefs around the money. So with that, I'm going to ask Marina to pop on to the next slide, unless anyone has anything. Okay. And I'm going to ask Anita to read that.
Okay, so I think that bit of conversation flows right into the contents of this slide. When you're releasing from an infinite source into an infinite source, nothing can be lost or lacking. Only as we cut ourselves off can we experience the illusion of not enough. There are generally two forms of financial release. First is spending, using money as an energy exchange for things and services we choose. Second is giving, donating, and tithing, using money to create greater good in the world without any expectation of return or exchange. It is important when we spend to be grateful for what we're receiving in exchange. Things like heat, light, clean water, road maintenance, and other community services. We have chosen, consciously or not, to buy these goods and services. Yes, including taxes. Tithing can be a loaded subject. It is simply a practice of the giving receiving principle of the universe. You won't displease God if you don't. The universe won't punish you if you don't. You just won't experience the benefits of conscious giving unless you participate, just like you wouldn't experience the benefits of meditation or yoga if you don't participate. So this slide for me kind of pushed my button about the word tithing. And I don't care for that word. For me, it feels old-fashioned. It feels like somebody telling me what I have to do. And I prefer giving over tithing. But I was reading just this morning, actually, from Eric Butterworth's book, Spiritual Economics, which he's just such a masterful teacher. And this book is really excellent. And he talks about the history of tithing, about how in Old Testament times, ancient times, tithing was not a love offering. It wasn't free will giving. It was a mandatory contribution. Tithing was actually a form of taxation. And so when Jesus came along and was kind of reinterpreting these Old Testament beliefs that people had and bringing new light to them and saying, this is what we believed then, but let's look at this in a different light. Let's let our thinking evolve about it. Then he started teaching about how if you give, you will receive. If you want to receive, you better be giving. He talked about the circulation of the flow and the freely giving and freely receiving. And it was very unlike tithing. Jesus actually, according to Eric Butterworth, who is a pretty good Bible scholar, Jesus actually didn't teach tithing as such. He taught giving freely. I'm done.
Thank you, Anita. That was like coming right out of my mouth. You were saying that, because I too do not like the word tithing at all. And it was probably from my upbringing, thinking that I wasn't good enough if I didn't, or that you wanted more than whether it was the net or it came from the gross. I mean, these are little stupid things that were in my childhood, you know. And if I couldn't do the gross, then I wasn't quite good enough to get into the kingdom of God, you know. And so I have a lot of things around tithing that I don't like. And I do like the word giving. I do like that. It's just so much more freeing. And I also like the law of circulation, the actual law itself. So that's something that you can look in. You can find it online, you know, just look into it and you can read about it. It's beautiful.
Two hands and me. Since I have the bigger voice here and I'm on the top of the screen, I'm going to jump in first.
Way to pull rank, Chris.
Tithing is also a funky word for me, and I like to kind of think of it all as an energy. It's like, so, you know, when you talk about tithing, the first thing that comes to mind is church. And a lot of people that are viewers here, a lot of people in Utah, think of the Mormon church and the 10%. Tithing actually, I think, means 10 or tenth of something like that nature. But I like to think of it as energy. It's like, so I love CSL and I love lots of things in life. And for me, it's time, talent, and treasure. So if there's some energy that I enjoy, like I enjoy coming here and learning from CSL St. George. So I want to give something to it. I want to give energy to it. And money is just another form of energy. So, you know, giving money is one way, giving time is another way, giving your talents and your gifts or whatever it is. For me, I like to take that out because, like, I was just watching our numbers, and as soon as we started talking about tithing, it went from 8 to 6. It's like people just hear the word tithing, they're like, "Oh, no." It's an energy. It's like I love the energy. I want to put energy into the energy that's giving me energy back. You know, we say that spiritually feeds you. Put your money. If you don't like CSL, but you're getting great spiritual food somewhere else, whatever that entity is, it needs your energy, be it time, talent, or treasures. So if you're not giving to CSL, give to that. Give to wherever you're being spiritually fed. You know, you have to buy food at the grocery store. You have to give them money in order to get the food to nourish yourself. Do the same thing with however you give or share or contribute to whatever it is you're receiving. And then Mary's hand went up first.
Well, I think you're just saying what I said. Tithing is so much more than just money, and it's time and talent. And just like many other words kind of activate us, you know, because of our childhood or our past, you know, tithing is just a word. And I like the idea of calling it energy. And I like the idea that I like this statement is if you don't, the universe doesn't punish you. You know, you just won't benefit from that consciousness of participating. And I think that's a great way to look at it, very positively. So that's all.
Okay, Bill.
I guess I'm the lone wolf here. I don't have a problem with the word tithing. Once I got into Centers for Spiritual Living 10 years ago, my finances were a mess, and I was not living abundantly. But I started reading and learning about tithing, and it supposedly had this promise or this you started learning about the circulation, and I thought, okay, let's take the dive, take a step, and do something out on faith and start tithing, 10%. And it doesn't matter if it's 10% of what, but a significant amount rather than just throwing $1 in the plate on a Sunday, and my whole financial world has completely shifted because, and I believe it's because of that. I mean, and so I don't have a problem with tithing because I have seen the results of tithing, in my personal life, and it has made such a huge difference in my financial world that I love tithing. So,
yeah, just one little last thing before we go into the next slide. Centers for Spiritual Living St. George ties to CSL, the organization in Colorado. And about 5 years ago, we made the conscious decision we take what is given to us and we give 10% to Golden, Colorado, to our home office so that they can do a lot of work with that. Since that day, back then, we were negative back then for a while. Since that day, our CSL St. George bank account has continually expanded. It has not once, I mean, maybe it quivered a little, but we are to this day at a grander place than we were financially from all those years ago, and we've been giving. So with that, let's just move on to the next slide. I love how I say with that. I sound like I'm a radio personality or something. So these are quotes, and I think we're kind of shy for time. So I'm going to go ahead and just give each of us one of the quotes to read, and then I invite our listeners and viewers to maybe take a picture with your camera of the quotes if it pops out at you, and join us for the Zoom meeting that we have at 12 o'clock today. If you like our talk and you want to talk more in depth or hear more of what we have to say. So with that, I'm just going to go ahead and let Star read this. I'm just going to go in order. I've been doing that all along. It'll be Star. You go ahead and read this one.
All things emanate from pure spirit and return to it, and return again to it. Ernest Holmes.
All right. And then Bill.
Again, another one from Ernest Holmes. The law of our being is the law of perfect assimilation, elimination, and circulation, a knowledge of our oneness with the God life all about and within us will heal.
And then the next one will be Mary.
The receiving is always a greater flow from within. The receiving is in the same stream as the giving.
Ooh.
From Eric Butterworth.
And Nita.
Oh, thanks, Chris. If you have the ability to give regularly, it is an indication that you are at least as intelligent as the squirrel who stores away nuts for the winter.
This was one we fought over deleting. This is the one that neither one of us liked at all. We just felt like it was kind of insulting, and it was all this other stuff. Let's see. Do we have a couple minutes?
We need to pray out. Be sure
Yeah.
to spend time for prayer.
All right. So go ahead, Star.
You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people will not feel insecure around you. A return to love.
Okay, and the last one I believe is just an affirmation. Oh, nope, it's another quote, and I'll go ahead and read that one because I'm at the top. In order to be abundant, we have to be close to money. Often our relationship to money follows a push-pull, love-hate pattern similar to our other relationships. That's Stuart Wilde, The Little Money Bible. And here's our affirmation. If we want, we can just read this all together. I trust
and live in the
it's too hard to say it together. Never mind. Star, read it.
See, I trust and live in the infinite flow of abundant good.
Bill, you go ahead and close service, and we will be moving on to the announcements in just a minute. Close us out fast, my friend.
All right. I'm so grateful for this talk. I'm grateful for the opportunity to share with our viewers the divine nature of money and flow, and how that benefits us all, and how it works in our world. I'm just so grateful, and I release all of our words to the law of God, knowing that it is already done, and so it is.
So it is.
So it is.
Thank you, everybody. See you at the Zoom meeting. Marina, hostess.
All right,
take it away.
I'm back. Thank you all. That was amazing conversation. I appreciate your candor and your vulnerability and wisdom. That was just amazing. Thank you. Okay, so just a quick run through some announcements. We have an in-person gathering coming up on November 12th from 12:30 to 2:30 at Pioneer Park Gazebo. The book club is on Thursday nights, again, starting this coming Thursday, November 3rd at 6 p.m. for an hour. Our community care circle, make note of that phone number so that if you ever would like some support from this beautiful community, they are ready and willing to help out and make contact. And if you have a prayer request, email prayer at CSLSTGeorge at oh, sorry. I typed that terrible. Take out at Gmail. So it's CSLSTGeorge at .org. My apologies. And please come join us in our Zoom meeting that starts in just 10 minutes. And all of this information is available to you in your newsletter or on the website or on Facebook. And if you are not getting our newsletter yet, please go to the website, CSLSG.org, and sign up for our mailing list, and we will get that to you. It's a great resource for staying in touch with what's happening. And then the one special announcement here, the home office has is running a special. I encourage you to subscribe to Science of Mind magazine. If you aren't already, you can also get it digitally online. So check it out. And this is also a major source of income for our whole global program. So support CSL in this fashion too. And boy, do you get a lot back. There's so much great information in that little tiny magazine. And I believe it's one of the longest running magazines that's been published in the world. And here's that challenging topic that y'all were talking about. If we would really appreciate your generosity and gifts to keep our little center going, our little and growing center going. PayPal, by mail, with Zelle, bank to bank. All that information is, of course, in your newsletter and online. And that QR code that's there, if you take a picture of it, it'll pop you over to our website where on the donation page. Makes it super easy. Okay, next 2 Sundays is our beloved senior minister, Reverend Joe Kovach. On the 6th, he's talking about There's No Place Like Home. And on the 13th, it will be Roots and Wings. That should be interesting, I think. All right, now popping everybody back in. Oh, there's so many faces. Oh my goodness. And we are going to take turns reading our closing affirmations, starting with Bill.
All right. Something wonderful is happening through me right now.
It is this thing called life.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my body.
Life is in all that I do.
I am it, I embrace it, and I share it.
Just the way that it is.
And just the way that it is becoming.
Thank you.
Thank you, life.
Oh, so many faces and voices. Thank you for being here with us today. We love you all. I love all these faces here as well, and all the ones that I don't get to see today. A little bit like Romper Room, isn't it? I'm aging myself here for sure. Have a grand Sunday, and we'll see you all on Zoom.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.